everyone now hates me for. Okay, where are we at? There it is. So this is sort of where I start winging the menus a little bit. I have to get everyone to learn certain things by the end of this disc. And I only have one copy of a lot of these things. So basically, I'm still missing, okay, the antidote brooch is there. I need to learn anti-petrify, anti-poison, and I've already learned persistence, and I'm about to learn double atom on this next fight. And all of those are really important for the final boss fight. I think quite a lot of people probably would have gotten to the final boss fight in their casual. He would have cast all stone, and they would have just instantly been killed because it would have put petrify on everyone. It's a really mean thing to do when there's a whole lot of other fights, well, a really difficult fight right in front of it that can really mess you up. So it's completely messed up my formation. I'm just sort of trying to fix that up, go back to sort of normal, which is sort of interesting because this boss is going to mess up with my formation even more. But the main thing we really desperately need to learn here is double atom. I'm only going to get 10 SP from this fight, but Ced's got double SP, so I should get enough from just doing this. And I want to be super duper careful that I have everything set. I just need to make sure that I've got the spirit magic equipped. The reason I'm being like super careful about this is that you can lose a huge amount of time if you're not perfectly set up for this fight. And this is easily the messiest and nastiest fight in the run. It's not difficult, but it's really horrible looking. I wish there was a better strat for this fight.
Well, I mean, I totally understand. You said you had to make sure everything was set, otherwise it's horrible and messy and yucky. You're
Yes,
absolutely right about pudding. If it's not set, it's horrible, messy and yucky.
Yes, it's still pretty bad. There's not really a good way to do this fight, I don't think. If someone has any ideas, I'd love to hear about it, but as far as I can tell, this is the best way to do this fight. And it's pretty sort of tricky. It's going to seem like I'm just spamming gamble, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. But what we're going to do is we're going to kill Keystone B, which will disable Ancient Fiend's magic counterattack. If I was to attack him with gamble directly now, then he would reply with gamble. It'd counter with gamble. So because his level is way higher than mine, he would deal probably a couple of thousand damage or so with his reflected gamble. So I want to kill this one, but I don't want to kill the other one. If I kill the other one, then he gains a new ability called Shatterus. And that will deal about somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000 damage to everyone, and he'll cast it pretty much every turn. So with the persistence glitch, if I was to actually learn it before this point, I probably could deal with that, but I really don't want to. We'll be learning a whole lot about the persistence glitch very, very soon. I might just go back to Seth and actually use the persistence glitch. If you missed the explanation before, basically swapping equipment with someone who has a persistence on will refresh their persistence. So Seth survived that previous attack on 1 health because she had persistence. So if she was to get attacked again, she would die next time. But because I adjusted her equipment, next time she gets attacked, she will survive the next hit.
So she'll take 0 damage from her next hit.
She still technically takes the damage, it just reduces her to 1 instead of 0.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, you're basically right. The only problem with this boss, and probably the reason that I don't bother learning persistence on everyone, like just do a random encounter or something to learn persistence early, is because his regular attack attacks twice. So because of that, he'll take 1 hit to take you down to 1 health, and then he'll do another one to kill you off. So persistence is only good for, or the persistence glitch is only good for 1 hit per turn. So yeah, that's basically it. I've killed the first Keystone, so now I can attack Ancient Fiend directly. He's got a lot of health, and I need to get some decent gambles if I want to kill him quickly. Apart from that, I'm going to Angel Plume someone up every turn. I really don't have to worry about the other guy. He's going to cast a whole bunch of things that really don't matter. He'll try and reduce my stats, slow my speed, change my formation, All sorts of really annoying things like that waste a lot of time that I really can't kill him, and none of them affect Gamble or my ability to cast it, so I'm quite happy to just keep smashing him with Gambles until he goes down.
So, when you say mess with your formation, does that mean change whether each person is front back?
Front back row,
like
yeah.
randomly, essentially?
Exactly, yeah. And I believe I've got to actually look up my VOD of my last run of this, because I think what happened is that on the last formation shuffle, he actually changed my formation to exactly the formation that I need after this fight, which was pretty astonishing and funny, and I almost don't believe it. I must have, like, you know, screwed up in some way, and that's not what happened. So no one actually died that turn, which is really good luck. What I did do wrong though is I have Sarah attacking the wrong target, so I'll just readjust that. So Ced's about to run out of MP on this turn, which is sort of a good thing, because someone's almost certainly going to die from this, and Ced has double item already, so we'll be able to use him to both revive and cure his own MP.
Sorry, what's double item?
It just allows you to use 2 items in one turn.
Ah, okay. Oh, you said double item.
Yes,
Sorry, that
double
wasn't
item.
A jab at that was not an accent joke, I swear.
We've gone 6 hours without an accent joke, so I reckon that's pretty good. I'm sure there's been plenty in the chat. But that's cool. I always get this feeling halfway through this fight that I forget double item. I'm like positive I didn't forget double item this time, but I've got this like 1% if in my head that I might have forgotten it. It's not really a big deal, I was just going to run somewhere and take about 2 or 3 minutes to learn it. But it's like the one thing that's like the most important on this fight that I probably forget the most often. Yet again, no one dies. Good luck. These gambles are sort of middle of the road at the moment. They're pretty good. I'm very happy with middle of the road for gamble. Oh, that's the wrong target. Doesn't matter. I've got to kill the other keystone anyway, so it doesn't really cost any time. Just, you know, the chance that you know, that gamble on top of all the others could have killed Ancient Fiend and stopped one of his attacks is the only thing. As long as I don't kill the other keystone, and then I'm in huge trouble, but I've never gotten down that low before. So yeah, I got someone with low MP, so I'll take the chance to throw both of these. I'm not sure if I changed my target then, but whatever. As long as it attacks someone, I'm happy. It's not worth backing out in the menu for. Gamble's damage range at this point for the sort of lower level characters like Kine and Seth, they can hit up to about 1200 or so, whereas Ced and Sarah can hit towards more of the. Ooh, that's bad. Okay, no, I've got to make sure that Ced's alive at the end of this fight, which is yeah, for experience and money. Basically, everyone's got double item. I hope everyone's got double item skill linked at the moment, and they need him to be alive for the double SP. And also, I get 10,000 gold out of this, and with money being as important as it is, getting 20,000 is obviously much better.
Right. Okay. Oh yeah, especially because you said earlier 40,000 used to be the full run when you're on.
Yeah, pretty much. You still get stuff from these bosses as well, though.
Oh, okay, I see. Right.
I saw the other side.
We basically just found a way. Like normally, I would have already, like in the old route, I would have already bought all of the bombs I need for the next 5 bosses, and you'll sort of see what I mean by the 5 bosses. You have to fight the same boss 5 times coming up next, and you have to kill him with bombs every time. I mean, you don't have to, but it's the fastest way that I've found so far. And yeah, because of that, you know, you used to be able to buy them all much earlier and save some shopping trips later on in the run, but now it's a bit more staggered and you've got to do a couple of extra shopping trips along the way. So again, sort of good luck then. Seth is the only one with persistence at the moment, and she was the one who got hit, so have everyone alive at the end of this turn again, which is good.
First he casts slow, then slower. This guy's a jerk.
He is a total jerk. The other problem with Sed getting targeted here is that he has the best gambles too, because he's the highest level.
Oh right, because he said that it's like the difference between your level and the opponent's level plays a large
No, it's just your level. So Sed's the highest level here, so he just doesn't. He has the highest damage range on gamble. Okay, he's almost dead. He's in his like slumping animation, so I might just re-equip that for the glitch. Oh, I might switch that around actually. I've got yet again 2 people who can't do anything, so I should get the double item specialist to have a go at that. Well, I've got Seth who can't do anything either, so we'll just win that, I think. We'll throw a herb on Seth. It's sort of the awkward part here where you have like 2 things you need to do on one turn and Sed isn't alive. Makes it a little bit awkward, but... He's using a lot of bind hits, which is usually pretty good because people can actually survive bind hit, but he's targeting casters with it, so it doesn't make any difference at all.
What's the little blinking icon next to their status?
That's where all of your debuffs come into play. So if you're poisoned or anything like that, that's where it'll be. And that one...
so that's the slow.
No, that's formation paralysis, which is what bind hit does. When you get hit with bind hit, that person who gets hit can't change their formation anymore. The first boss of Disc 3, which we all had a fun time with, used Bind Voice, which throws that status effect on everyone. That's why I had to throw that bind heal in. If this fight goes on like long enough and enough people have that buff, I might actually throw a bind healer on this fight. It's probably not going to happen now, but if no one has bind formation paralysis, then he's more likely to use bind hit. And there is a chance I can survive bind hit.
Okay. Oh, but if everyone's formation paralyzed, then
yeah, he goes back to successive blows, which is pretty much always a one-hit, one-kill.
I'm not done yet.
I did have this crazy idea for this fight that I was going to... Wow, you really sound like Sarah. That I was going to set up, like, I was going to try and like contact someone to set up like a small, like, you know, web app or something where people could like choose a gamble number. Hey, there we go, finally down. And like we play like gamble bingo on this fight. But I couldn't think of any way to do it with like, you know, without like having everyone cheat or anything. It sounded like a really complicated thing to do, but it would have been really fun. So this is a pretty long and repetitive fight, so it would have been cool to throw something in to make it a bit more interesting. So this thing can't do any damage to me, he's just going to sit here and waste a bit of time casting stuff on me. I'm just going to make sure everyone's alive and just gamble it to death, and then this fight will finally be over. Then we get to do Arthrosaurus, which on my splits, on W split, when I played this on my own stream, I call it the Captain Planet split because there's 5 of these guys. The first one is vulnerable to wind, and then you fight 4 of them sort of at the same time. And their vulnerabilities are in the Captain Planet order. It's Earth, Fire, Wind, and Water. And there's no heart before you ask that. But that's the way I remember it now. Someone pointed that out to me, and it's like been the most helpful thing because I could never remember the order of them. And then someone said, "Dude, it's Captain Planet." And I was like, "Yes, I can remember that. I will never ever forget that," and I still haven't. You'll probably hear me like muttering to myself when I like run to engage like the 3rd one down the line. It's like Earth, Fire, and Wind. Okay, I can take that out now. You gotta say them in order. This is really good. It might finish it off. Yep. One more turn. Whoa, not you. Delay. That's all you're doing. Yes, he's definitely delaying the inevitable and doing not much more than that. Anyway, that's sort of what these guys do. Oh, come on. He's got like no health left. There we go. Okay.
guess you didn't have a winning hand.
Nope, didn't seem like it. Okay, I did remember double item, that's good. I always worry myself about that, even when I do it. Alright, so now we'll do a little bit of running around to make sure I can take out the next boss. There's a few things that I've done so that I'm able to pick up a item that has fireproof on it, which obviously makes you immune to fire damage. And there's lots and lots of fire damage coming up in the next few areas and boss fights and stuff. I used to, with the old route, learn it on everyone, and it made a lot of these fights really easy, but now, for speed, I can only really learn it on like 1 or 2 people, because I don't go quite as far out of my way to get things for the next bosses at this point. There used to be like a 40 or so minute section in the final disc where you just run around doing side quests and stuff like that. Basically to just pump yourself up for the final boss. But because of the persistence glitch, we'll be seeing a lot of in the very near future, you can skip a lot of that stuff, but the unfortunate side effect is you simply don't have enough SP to learn fireproof on everyone. So I'll be putting a single person in the front row for the next group of fights, and basically putting it on him, and he's sort of just going to be the tank for these next fights, because I think my most HP on any character at the moment is about 1300 or something, and these guys' fireball hits everyone in a row for about 2000. So I've got to be pretty prepared for that. So there still is a little bit of floating around here as we do some shopping and some preparation for the next boss. Ura first.
Have to come see if the hat was still on.
Yeah. Pretty important that I get these menus right.
First city in the game.
Yeah, so you actually come here 3 times, which seems really inefficient for a speedrun, but the first 2 are storyline related. It would be really good if you could access some of the areas in the third disc that you, sorry, on the first disc that you actually access normally on the third disc, because you could run around and pick up like level 3 bombs, which would at that point in the game just one-shot everything. We've sort of looked for, there's some really odd movement mechanics in this game that you can use to get up like on top of chests and stuff like that, and you can go out of bounds in certain ways, and as a result we were sort of hoping there might be some way of getting through a couple of these really small areas so you could get into these places and grab all this equipment that you're not meant to have, but we haven't found any use for it yet. There is one out of bounds area that you can go to which will save like 15 seconds, but if you screw it up in any way then you will lose at least 2 minutes. And it's also got a, I don't know, about a 50-50 chance of just being a straight up reset, because you'll just be stuck in a permanent random encounter hell where you'll, like, the screen will be black because you'll be falling through the world, but it still counts as movement, so you're still getting random encounters. So it's really, really bad. I actually did have that as a donation incentive, but it would have made the run too long. Because it actually does look really cool. And you can...
the world would have made the run too long?
Well, yes. There was... I would have had to do it after the run too, which was against the rules. So.
Yeah. Here I would have thought that would be the shortest way.
Yeah.
You have to get all the way around the planet.
Yeah, that's true. The longest distance, the shortest distance between any 2 points is a straight line, as we all know.
Luligen is such a programmer because he actually laughed at that.
And again, this is the second time we've visited this place as well, and I pointed this out when we were here the first time, that there's this item over on the right-hand side that I know exactly where it is, and it's really, really important, but I can't get it on disc 2 because I've had to upgrade the magic locator and talk to that random dude in Ura, and now all of a sudden the item is magically here. If you could pick this up in disc 2, it would probably save you about like 4 minutes, but unfortunately it's not the case.
So I hate to tell you that the chat, Quanta Starfire in particular, just went a little nuts. We were talking about falling through the center of the world, and you called it random encounter hell.
Yeah.
I feel like there should have been like sunglasses with that.
Yes, it's a pretty hot place down there. Okay, so now we do our shopping trip. Hey, I didn't know what to say. I'm sorry. And we'll do hopefully the final main shopping trip. The rest are basically for the final boss and the donation incentives. There's actually like a little side quest that you start when you talk to this guy. Oh, no, there's not. Maybe that's when you come here later. That's still fine. I need 16 of each of these bombs. I need 32 windows there. We also need an incredibly random selection of items from here. We need 16 of these. 28 of these. I will explain myself shortly. And 12 of these. And I should already have the whetstones. You usually pick up enough whetstones on your way, but I do need to make sure I've got enough of those. That's all I've got on the list. I might just double check my mana items just in case. Yeah, that should be okay, but whatever, I've got plenty of money and we'll buy a little bit more of that. So basically I bought 16 of each bomb plus 16 extra winter bombs. They'll all be for the next 5 boss fights, which are all coming up in a row next. I also bought 28 Raging Beast Eyes, 12 Beast Horns, and something else. 12 Beast Hide Rasps, 16 Beast Horns, and 8 Whetstones. Well, I already had 9 Whetstones, so I didn't need to buy those. And basically all of those random sounding items towards the end are to make dinosaur rings, which I'll need to take out some of the bosses later on in the game with physical attacks. I basically haven't been using physical attacks for the whole game, but they make a comeback in the final part of the game.
And what did dinosaur rings do for physical attacks?
They increase the amount of damage you do to beasts when you get a good targeting ring. Actually, I've got to put Tolton in now. So I learned Persistence on disc 3 on Seth, but she's the only one who knows it at the moment. So, damn it, I've got to put Tolton in the back row too. So now I need to learn it on everyone else. So Tolton needs to come in because he is the one who starts with Persistence. So I need everyone to learn it off him. Oh, she's fine. Where's Kyan? There we go. And this is definitely the most important thing in the run. We'll be abusing the hell out of this very shortly. Even during these fights sometimes, although it's not really what it's for in particular. I'm going to be really, really careful, and I'm going to make a safety save that I've got everything right here as well, because there's a huge, huge checkpoint fallback if anything goes wrong here. Okay, Medusa's Head is learned, so I've got to actually equip that as a skill. And I've got to put double item on everyone as well while I'm at it. Double item can replace steel because I don't really need that anymore. I might try and put that on while I have a chance. And she's good, she just needs double item. Okay, I think I've got everything. Yes, yes, yes. No, but that's probably okay anyway, but I'll double check. Oops. Okay, they must all be equipped. There they are. Need to make sure that Ming can cast level 4 black-white magic, which she doesn't start with, unlike everyone else. Skill and persistence, skill double item anti-petrify. Yes, 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 yes. That should be fine. I'll make a safety save and we should be good to go. This is normally where my inability to menu while reading notes at the same time is usually a bit of a problem, because I usually try and go like, I'm usually going for like a disc PB. I don't do too many full runs of this game because I just don't have time. I usually do them disc by disc. And as a result, I usually get to this point, it's, you know, a disc run is a little bit more tight than a regular one. So I usually get to this point and just like rush all my menuing, forget something completely critical and then have to reset. So I was a little bit more careful this time. I'm still like double checking, making sure everything's okay, because there is a huge, huge fallback if you fail this. I've got the safety save there, but like these fights in general are really long and you can't save in between them, so.
Whoa, what is that?
And believe it or not, we're about to hit a tutorial. They have a tutorial halfway through Disc 4. There's basically a tutorial for this minigame. Oh, actually, no, it's after this first fight, actually. I thought it was straight away. Okay, we're good. Let's go. Alright, so this is the worst of the fights because I'm going to learn persistence on this fight. And obviously that means I'm not going to have persistence on this fight. And persistence is a great saver. Like, you can play a little bit more riskily and a bit more aggressively when you have persistence on. The other thing is that I've also got Tolton in my party, and he's not the best person to have in the party. So basically, if I can get through this one, and everything is learned correctly, and I equip everything correctly, then all of the fights after this should be perfectly safe. But this one's a little bit more hairy, because I'm missing persistence, and Tolton doesn't have double item either, so I usually have to stay alive for one extra turn to throw the extra bomb necessary to finish this thing off. But basically, the decent mages are going to be casting Winder in this case. Each of these boss fights has a different elemental weakness. Oh dude, whoops. No, that's wrong, that's wrong. She's casting black magic. I thought that was someone else. And everyone else is throwing these bombs.
And the only reason you brought Tolton along at all for any reason whatsoever
Is so people could learn persistence, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's why we learned persistence on Seth on disc 3, is so that we could switch her out, and then when we get to here we learn it on everyone. These fights are a little bit weird in that you get money and experience from the first and the fifth one, but not the second, third or fourth one. Alright, so that was the worst luck I could have gotten. Kaim getting attacked means that my GC is really low, which means that if he does Heat Breath on the back row next turn, then it's probably going to kill Ming and Sarah at least, if not maybe, actually Tolton's got persistence, so he'll be okay, but there's not much I can do at the moment, except just to keep plugging along, because there's nothing I can do to increase my GC at this point.
I thought there were items that heal GC in this game.
Okay.
No items, no. There are some abilities that do it. No items that I can remember anyway. Then maybe something. The only thing that I've got to raise my GC at the moment is the Knight's Code accessory, which I picked up on disc 1, but it only increases it by a tiny bit, and I'd have to basically waste Kaim's turn to be able to do that. He's better off doing some damage to try and beat this guy as quickly as possible. Okay. So this is like...
That's precisely what you didn't want.
Yes, exactly. So like Heat Breath on the first turn is fine, because he's either got to target Kaim in the front row, or he's got to...
Target the high GC after.
Yeah, exactly. So in that case, you know, this exact turn order is the only thing that can really go wrong, and yeah, that's obviously what's happening. Fortunately, the first one, if it goes horribly, horribly wrong, then I've got the safety save, and it doesn't cost that much time. I basically just need anything other than what has just happened to happen. And it's still not over, I can still get lucky, but if he does Heat Breath on the back row again, then everyone's going to be dead in the back row.
Right, yeah, obviously.
Here it comes.
Really?
It looks like it's going to happen. Nope. Oh dude, 7 Tolton are okay. I might actually use the persistence switch on Tolton, and I might try and heal some people. They might be able to survive for barely long enough to make this viable. Where are my tanks? I know I've got some of them. A little bit worried about using excess window bombs too, which can be pretty bad. I'm going to use a persistence glitch, so I'll just change his equipment. It doesn't matter what I change it to, I've just got to make sure it's changed. So he'll survive another attack, but yeah, I'm going to end up using a lot of bombs because my casters are down, and they're meant to take a bit of the load as far as how much damage is dealt in this fight. I just need him to do anything else for one turn, I'll be fine. But he's pretty mean when he gets in these modes where he's just completely hammering the back row. Oh dude, that was the wrong person. But alright, I'll be able to get him on next turn, hopefully. Okay, here we go, here we go. He's finally done something else. So I'll have a full turn here, and I think I should be able to kill him this turn. I am going to use a lot more bombs than I would like to, which is going to make the next